Hello all, Munch here, and welcome to a World Cup build-up video. There'll be a couple of these this week before the World Cup gets underway on Thursday. Really excited for it, actually, absolutely buzzing for the World Cup. I always get excited for the World Cup. You know, it's always a nice way to spend your summer. There's loads of games. It's like a football fest. So many different cultures. It's always a massive carnival atmosphere. You get the humdrum of England and the excitement of us going into another tournament. Will we or won't we make it past the group stage? And, you know, it's the best tournament for football in the world. It's got the best players there. Or does it? This video is essentially an absent 11, so it's players that will not be at the World Cup either because they got omitted from the squad or just because their country didn't actually qualify. The one that always springs to mind for me of players that won't be able to ever really make it to a World Cup is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, because he's from Gabon, and you know the likelihood is that they're probably never going to qualify for a World Cup. So it's a shame that we'll never get to see him really on the biggest stage in world football. But there are a few really big players that aren't going to be there this year that really should be, and I've done it over a couple of sites actually just to kind of get a few names on here, and I ended up doing it on the BBC website. And when I was going through, I realised just how many quality players aren't going to be there. This is my personal preference of players that I would love, I'd love to have in the England team, love to have them in my team. So, and they pretty much walk into most. It's a 4-3-3 formation. In goal we've got Jan Oblak, obviously Slovenian, unfortunate not to make it to the World Cup. Kind of on his own as well. There aren't many off the top of my head Slovenian superstars, but this guy is one of the top goalkeepers in football, obviously being coveted by my beloved Liverpool at the moment. I can't see us getting him because we're going to get priced out of it. Atletico Madrid's goalkeeper in one of the best defences in world football. At right back, I had Leonardo Bonucci from Italy. There are a couple of Italian players that should be in here because obviously it's a massive omission of them not getting in. Defensively, Italians have always been strong, and Bonucci, with his move to AC Milan this year, little kind of left field I think, but they were a kind of up and coming team with the new squad revamp they had last year. Maybe not worked out quite as they planned, but at the same time Bonucci is such a quality defender. You don't get that much experience in playing such a great Juventus team without having something about you. So Bonucci, you get my nod. There's quite a few Juventus players in here because we've also got Chiellini. He's a bit older, but he's still, for me, pound for pound, one of the best defenders in world football, maybe along with Sergio Ramos, who obviously I'm not seeing eye to eye with at the moment. I'm still bitter about the Champions League final. But yeah, Chiellini is just a stalwart. He's a sensational defender, been one of the great Italian defenders up there with Maldini, Nesta. He should be looked at in those terms as far as I'm concerned. So Giorgio Chiellini makes up the first half of my central defensive partnership, and there'll be no guesses or no prizes for guessing that my other one is Virgil van Dijk. Obviously, Liverpool fan, I'm going to love Virgil van Dijk, but I think if you're a neutral, you can't help but think this boy is brilliant. He is such a good central defender. He brings such a calm presence, and I kind of feel him and Chiellini would be a really good partnership. You've kind of got Chiellini's reading of the game and the experience, and then you've got Virgil van Dijk with the pace and sheer physicality, and they're so calm. They'd be such a calming influence on the rest of the defence, and I think they'd be a sensational defensive partnership. So Chiellini, if you're ever keen, come to Anfield. At left back, I think everyone would pick this, is Alexandro. Brazil are at the World Cup. He's just not been picked. Why? He's one of the best left backs, if not the best left back in world football. You can play at left back, you can play left mid, left wing, you can play anywhere up and down that left hand side. He is a sensational player. How they've kind of left him behind is beyond me. I don't know. That just goes to show how much strength and depth Brazil reckon they have. Obviously, they've got Marcelo. I personally think Alexandro is a better player than Marcelo. Marcelo's won a lot more, so maybe it's just the experience of that comes into it. I don't know. Midfield three is actually probably my favourite bit. Actually, it's so strong. In the centre of the park at the CDM, you've got Fabinho. Brazilian, again, not been included. Goes to show the strength and depth that they've got in the squad, but in a 23-man squad, you want versatility, and Fabinho can play anywhere. He can play right back, centre back, CDM, centre mid, attacking right mid. He can play anywhere. I'm pretty sure you can play him on the left wing if you wanted, and he'd still be pretty solid. Big physical bloke as well. Really good technical ability to create something out of nothing. I think it's a bit of a shame he's not going. I've seen a bit of him at Monaco, but obviously with him being a new Liverpool signing, I'd want to see more of him, and I was hoping to see more of him at the World Cup, but sadly it ain't going to happen. And then the two midfielders I've actually kind of got in front of him, so if you like, you've got Fabinho sat in the deep, And then next to him, I'd have Arturo Vidal, who obviously didn't make it with Chile for the World Cup, which is a shame, but this guy's been brilliant for years. If you play FIFA, he's up there with like Rajan Nainggolan as one of your best sort of central midfielders, all-round fantastic stats. He's excellent, and he's got one hell of a haircut on him. He can't just light up a game, Vidal, and he does something unexpected. He's a very exciting player to watch. So it's going to be a shame that he's not going to be there. Same with Alexis Sanchez as well, who obviously is a very, very good player. A little bit temperamental, and it's kind of when he wants to be. He picks and chooses when he wants to be good. Partnering Vidal in that central midfield point was quite a difficult selection because there's a few that haven't made it. It came down to two. It came down between Marco Verratti and Rajan Nainggolan. I had all the way been Verratti, and then the last couple of days I played with Nainggolan a bit on FIFA in my World Cup series. Watch it now. And you kind of realise just how good he actually is. But I am going to go back with my gut instinct of Marco Verratti, so Nainggolan is an honourable mention. Verratti's superb. You know, probably hasn't quite achieved everything that he should have done so far at PSG, but you could say that about quite a lot of PSG players. You know, I say that they've shed loads of French titles and stuff, but not really achieved anything on the European stage. And Verratti hasn't obviously achieved much in the international stakes, but he's such a good technical little player. And I think he and Vidal would be brilliant. You've got the kind of powerhouse mould of Vidal bursting forward and, you know, creating havoc when he goes roaming, and then you've got Verratti, who lovely just knits it together, ticks it along nicely, brilliant technical ability. For what he does, lacking a little bit of physicality. He's still a very tenacious player. He's just obviously not kind of got the height and physicality, and I should know. But that's probably one of the reasons why I like him so much as a player. And then the front three, I think, is another three that kind of really picks itself. We'll go right wing. Right wing is Gareth Bale. I mean, let's not get around it. You know, he showed in the Champions League final what a great player Gareth Bale is, especially for Wales. The minute he puts on a Wales shirt, he's a different animal. He's an absolutely world-class talent. And I've said it in previous videos, but I think if he'd maybe not gone to Madrid or gotten out of Madrid quicker, he'd probably be up there with Ronaldo and Messi in terms of stats and goals and adulation, because I think he's got everything. He's got everything. He could be Ronaldo. He could have been Ronaldo for me. There's still time, but he won't obviously achieve as much as Ronaldo has. But Gareth Bale is a surefire pick. Left wing or right, well, it depends. You can switch them both around. But the other winger that I would have is obviously Leroy Sané, which is the big news in recent, well, like the last week or so, of how he has not managed to get into the German team is beyond me. Julian Brandt is a good player, don't get me wrong. He's a very good, talented youngster, but I mean, come on. He's got double figures in assists and goals this year. I think it's 14 goals or 11 goals, 14 assists, something like that. For, you know, only his second season in the Premier League. It's a sensational effort. How he hasn't managed to get in is pretty farcical. But then that's Germany, you know, and they'll probably go on and get the semi-finals, maybe even win it. They're not my favourite to win it, but that's in a predictions video later this week. You know, I think it's a mistake not taking him. I'd have him over Brandt, but that's just my own personal opinion. I'm sure quite a lot of people are of the same one. And then up front, it came down between a couple of players. Aubameyang, as I mentioned earlier, and Mauro Icardi. I've gone on a little bit about Aubameyang, but Aubameyang is Aubameyang. He's a superb player, brilliant. He's a steal for Arsenal. I'm a bit gutted that Arsenal have got him, and he showed in the second half of the season how good a player he is, and such a struggling team. Imagine when they get it together under Emery, how good he's going to be. It's a little bit frightening. So Arsenal fans should be very optimistic for next year. I think as long as Emery comes, you know, gets to grips with the Premier League quite quickly, they could be in for a very good season. But for me, you have to give it to Icardi. I mean, how this guy has scored so many goals is unreal in the last few seasons, especially this season. I can't remember. I think he's got more than Aguero. He's got more than Higuain. He's got nearly more, apart from Messi. I think he's got more than any of the other Argentinian strikers. And he's a superb talent. He's a brilliant little player. And how he hasn't managed to make the squad is a bit beyond me. But then again, it's down to the attacking riches that they've got. Maybe he doesn't fit the system that they want to play. But, you know, Argentina are so top heavy that they may as well, you know, have as many forwards as they can, because defensively they're not brilliant. I say that they made it to the final last time without scoring that many goals. So that is my absent 11. I hope that you have sort of enjoyed the video. It's a bit more of a kind of waffly video, more like my thoughts and sort of semi-reactions videos. I quite like doing these ones because I like to think I know a little bit about football. But you guys may disagree, and that's part of the joy of football, is all about sort of disagreements and kind of constructively going about, you know, people's ideas and sharing it out. So if there's any players you think that I've missed or that you think deserve to be in there ahead of other people, please let me know in the comment section. I'm happy to listen, and I'm happy to admit that I'm wrong, because there's probably players that I've forgotten, then you guys mentioned that I've gone, oh yeah, Christ, yeah, I forgot about him. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do like, share and subscribe. There'll be a bit more World Cup build up and maybe some World Cup reaction videos as we go throughout the tournament. Let me know who your favourites are, who you think is going to win, and again, like I said, comment on the absent 11. Who would be yours? Please let me know. Let's see what we can come up with, and thank you very much for watching. Until I see you again, stay cool.